welcome back to another episode of the East Coast Avengers. Now today, as you see in the video, if you're watching this, but if you're listening to this, we are joined by Lex and Simon of the Wednesday Pool List. Welcome, guys.
Hey.
Thanks for having us.
Sir, yes, sir. Y'all doing all right tonight?
Doing pretty good.
Good. Yes, round of applause. So I know, Lex, we had you on a couple of months ago, but Simon, welcome. Usually we just kind of run down a list of kind of news and notes that we have, rumors that we've heard, and we just kind of give our opinion on them. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Do y'all have anything to say? Where can people listen to y'all and find y'all at?
We are the Wednesday Pool List pretty much anywhere that podcasts are put out. We are on Twitter, on Instagram. We're everywhere. Anywhere that has a website, you can pretty much find us on it.
Sounds great. Y'all, for those who are listening, go follow them, subscribe to them, do all the nice things to them. They definitely deserve it.
Do all the nice things. Right, JT.
All the nice
all the nice things.
Darren, you can't talk.
What'd I say?
No, I'm saying you can't talk because of every attempt that you do when we do YouTube videos, your intros are rough. You don't get on JT.
Hold on a second. But we're going to kick things. We're going to kick things off with our Marvel news that we have tonight. Now, we have
JT.
What?
Happy late birthday!
Oh, thank you.
Happy belated birthday, man.
Hey, happy birthday.
You're probably what, 62 now?
63, Dom. 63. Come on
63.
now.
Thank you. I put the wrong age on Twitter yesterday.
Don't fool the people with that
some respect
blasphemy right there. Yeah. Show some respect. But nonetheless, we are going to jump into our Marvel news. Now, we have about 3 rumors that we're going to get into. The first up is that we have an MCU project based on Marvel's Illuminati team is reportedly in development. Now, the only thing I have to say about that, guys, is we are years away from that. I mean, we still need to see the X-Men. We still need to see the Fantastic Four. I just don't see this happening until maybe another 10 years, maybe. Right. I don't know. But that's really, it's just a rumor right now. So that's really about it. Next we have is prior to the release of the Ms. Marvel Disney Plus series, we will see Kamala Khan, reportedly, we will see her make her MCU debut in another project that Marvel has going on. What that may be, we have no idea, but she is also scheduled to begin filming her Disney Plus show in November of this year. I think that kind of answers this question on its own. We've got to figure out casting. We got to figure out what the how many series or shows it's going to be. We got to figure out a bunch of things, but we're starting the development of Ms. Marvel or Kamala Khan. So the next rumor that we're going to get into, and we're going to get a little bit deeper into this one, is the New Mutants is scheduled, if it doesn't get delayed again, to be released on September 4th. Now, the big thing I said there is if it gets delayed. Now, Lex, we know you got something to say about this.
So Simon and I talked earlier today. At this point, most movies should just say that they're coming out in 2021. They should just probably give up on this year and just make a new schedule for 2021. As many times as this movie has been pushed back, I can't see it really coming out in a few weeks.
No, they might as well release it in theaters. It's going to get the same income. You know? Like if they could release it right now, it'd make the same back as it would in 2021. So.
Absolutely. We were talking earlier, and I know I heard that if it does, eventually get delayed, which I think we can already kind of say it will, because we're supposed to get it next month. Which, I mean, theaters aren't even open yet. So when it gets delayed, we'll say that. Just honestly, just at the very end of August, put it on for a week on video on demand, and then in September put it on Disney Plus, and then boom, release it on DVD in like November or
yeah.
December.
I honestly don't see movies coming back or theaters coming back until like next summer. Honestly,
now Josh and Christian, y'all have y'all have any kind of insight? I know y'all work for theater.
Well, yeah, Josh probably has more. I've been still in quarantine mode, I guess. Mainly because my family, like extended family, they contracted COVID. So I've been on the safe side and been staying home. But Josh has been working at our drive-in theater, which isn't the theater we work at, but it's the only theater that's available under our theater chain to work at. And Josh, if you want to say more.
Yeah, I've been working there recently, but as far as anything to do with movie releases, we haven't really got any word on where we're going moving forward. Honestly, we don't even know when we're going to open our own personal theater. I don't think they're going to show these new movies at the drive-in. I may be wrong, but everything is so uncertain that I don't even think that we'll know anything about New Mutants. And if it were to still be shown, I don't know if we are even going to show it at the drive-in. So really, but I can say this: if we were to open by August or something, if we're open by the time that this movie comes out, we should be showing it. The problem is we don't even know when we're going to open.
Right. Now, I've heard a lot of people say, like, what is the problem of opening theaters? The actual room is, quite large. You can separate people, with the seating arrangements. You can have, you're 6 feet apart or whatever, and people can wear masks while they're watching the movie and stuff. What is the legit problem in opening these? Do you have any kind of, do you know why, or is it just because money? Is money the reason?
Well, money always is going to be a reason, but it also goes, we're going through this in phases, and the city of Memphis still hasn't reached a certain phase, and our movie theater chain wants to hit that phase. I don't know if it's phase 2 or 3, but there's a phase that they want to hit throughout the city where we feel comfortable with opening everywhere, or at least some locations. We're not even one of the main locations. We're one of the smaller theaters, so we wouldn't be one of the priorities to open up first. But as far as like why we're closed, the obvious, just food distribution. Our theater has, popcorn, and when we're scooping popcorn, obviously our hands make contact with the popcorn sometimes. So stuff like that. And there are a couple things that we've done, like registers have that shield.
Oh, sorry, Josh.
Oh, no, the registers have like the shield now, so that's different. And there's a bunch of protocols we have to change. I think it's really just down to we haven't hit a phase in the city yet where they feel comfortable opening. Because personally, I think it's an okay time to open up. We already have everything like ready with the shields. It's not that hard to just have limited seats in the theater. It's not that hard to just tell people, make sure that people are separated. So things like that, I don't see why we don't open, but I'm not in charge of that. So,
right now, I think everyone, on this podcast, I think we're all kind of itching for more Marvel content. And, we haven't had any Marvel movie or any kind of content in over a year. Spider-Man Far From Home came out, a year and a half ago?
Wow.
So, yeah. So we haven't had a Marvel movie in forever. So for me personally, I don't care if New Mutants has gotten a bad rap, which, shoot, it's been delayed like 7,000 times already. But I'm just ready for something to come out, honestly.
And we have a lot of
things.
We have a lot of things coming out. We have Venom 2, and then we also have Wonder Woman, which was also put back, and I think we have a
Black Widow.
A little bit.
Black Widow,
of course.
Yeah. To me, New Mutants isn't the thing, though. I get it. I want to see some sort of Marvel content, but as someone that's, I don't know, man. I've read a lot of New Mutants, and even I'm not even excited to see it in theaters. So I have and it's not like a legitimate insider scoop, but I have someone that I talked to online that supposedly has someone that works in production at Disney that says that if it gets pushed back again, it's slated to release on Disney Plus. Now, again, I don't know how legitimate that is, but apparently, if it gets pushed back one more time, it's already ready to go, drop it, and they're gonna put it on.
I want to ask that.
And
quick.
That one and Mulan. They're going to put both of those on.
I want to ask you a question.
Plus.
Is your disinterest in New Mutants because of the constant delays, or is it because ever since they announced it, you weren't that interested anyway?
I figured we were going to get in this at some point, but it's an X-Men property. And so, automatically, I don't have much interest in it. But I don't know. It could be a cool movie. But then again, I don't trust them with X-Men movies. So
it's funny that you say that you don't have much interest in it, because it didn't seem like Fox did either when they were making those movies.
Yeah.
They're just like, I don't care, make it, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because now, just recently, I believe, there are a couple of people that I follow on Twitter that have, very high opinions and know their stuff around, Marvel and stuff like that. And they have said that a released footage have come out of New Mutants that is from a fake source but real material.
Yeah.
So someone found that new material and posted it, which that just is, that just tells you a lot, like you said, Simon, about Fox not caring. They're like, oh, you want it? Sure, here. Someone else take it and y'all release it.
They're not handling it very well. You think about properties like Wonder Woman and Black Widow, you get constant updates. For New Mutants, I feel like it's been, a few years since they made the movie. And so now they're just, every time someone forgets about it, they just pop up and say, hey, guess what? We're coming back. We're releasing
By the way, don't forget about us.
People forgot about it. And when I say that, like, I don't like certain movies or I'm not interested in certain movies, I also want to let it be known that I hope wholeheartedly that I'm wrong. I want to go to a movie and think that it's good. When Deadpool first was announced, I didn't think it was going to be good, and I was mistaken. It was great. It was one of my more favorite movies. But I hope it's good. I hope that it releases on Disney Plus, or if it does release on Disney Plus, that it's amazing and it's the best movie that they come out with. I just, I go in with low expectations.
History does not
for me at least.
Yeah, history is not on its side.
Yeah, by the time they release it, Arya Stark is going to be a senior citizen.
Yeah. She's already old.
So for our next bit of news, what?
I said Arya Stark's going to be JT's age.
All right.
Simon and I are definitely older than JT.
I love you, dude.
Yeah.
I love you.
They don't care about that. They're just going to make fun of me. Y'all are good. So. But for our next bit of news, which is kind of interesting, Tom Holland, as we know and love, is Spider-Man. And by the way, he is the best Spider-Man. I'll go ahead and say that. He has come out and said, he revealed that in February of 2021, he will be done filming Spider-Man 3, which is quite interesting because I believe Spider-Man 3 has a release date of November 2021. So very interesting. I don't know how long they've been kind of filming this, because of COVID, everything, has been kind of shut down and stuff. So it's very interesting to see if Tom is correct. Of course, movies have reshoots and everything, but what do y'all think about that? I mean, are y'all interested in a third Spider-Man movie at this point, or?
I definitely am. I mean, I really am. I don't know how much Tom Holland really knows about the process of making movies. You know what I mean? Like, he could be done in February, but there could be a ton of other stuff that they have to do. So,
exactly.
I'm excited for it. I am. Whether people liked the second Spider-Man movie or not, I think it'll be good. But I also think that a lot of these dates that we're going to get are still pretty loose.
Yeah.
Like with everything that we gain, or all the knowledge we gain in the next few months, we might have to, in the fall, if everybody gets sick again, they might have to stop shooting and stop everything that they're doing again. So,
exactly. And we'll run down these list of the dates later in the episode. We'll kind of run down what we have so far for our slate of movies. But that kind of wraps it up with our Marvel news. On to DC now. We have a couple of newsworthy notes. I'm probably going to do it again. But it's back to butchering another name, Noah Centineo. Don't know if I got that one right.
That's actually right.
Oh, all right. Well, I did it. Noah Centineo. Yeah, exactly. Noah Centineo has been casted as Atom Smasher in the upcoming Black Adam movie. Thoughts, anyone?
I don't like it.
Weird choice for sure.
Yeah.
But DC is known for weird choices, so it's not.
Yeah, they don't care either.
They don't.
But
no.
I will say that he's probably he's an okay actor, and I know he's been in other movies before, and I know he's mostly known for what's that movie? To All the Boys That Love Me or something like that. But I can't remember the name of the movie, but as I said before, some casting choices I don't like, and I'll just have to wait and see the movie, and maybe he'll surprise me, or maybe he won't live up to my expectations. So don't like the casting, but I will say my actual judgment until Black Adam comes out.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I thought it was a CW casting originally. So I was like, oh, cool, that's gonna be great. I think it'd be great in the CW. And this is, I guess, I would say it's no slight against him, but that was pretty rude. I don't know. Atom Smasher's an older character. It seems like to me. Like he's not old, but he's part of the JSA. And this guy's relatively young, looking at least. So it's just weird to me. I don't know what this movie is. Are the JSA going to be in this movie? Like, I don't know what direction they're going to. Why is Atom Smasher even in a Black Adam movie?
Going back to the JSA, I think we talked about several episodes ago that if the Black Adam movie does well, which I think it will because it has The Rock in it, they are planning. They're going to actually plan the JSA movie if it does well. So I think they're going off the success of Black Adam.
Why?
If they do a JSA movie, Green Lantern better be have a weakness to wood, because if they didn't do that, they're not doing it justice.
I'm a JSA fan. I need a little bit more structure with their movies. I don't know. That's just weird. That's a weird choice for me.
I think y'all should just trust DC. I mean, Jesse Eisenberg made a great Lex Luthor. They know what they're doing with casting.
He's my favorite.
So, right. Like I said, I'll save my judgment until the movie comes out.
Sometimes they do really well. Henry Cavill is a great Superman. Sometimes they do really well. It's just they don't have all the pieces. Yeah, that one character in all their movies.
Not Wonder Woman. What's her name? She's really good.
Gal Gadot.
Oh yeah, Gal Gadot's good.
She's real good. She's real good.
JT, shut up! I knew you were going to say something. I knew you was going to say something.
I'm not saying anything.
Oh yeah, they have a heated battle between Gal Gadot and Brie Larson, which both are very capable ladies. So
yes,
I'm in the middle.
No, I could just tell by JT's face. I thought he was about to say something.
I'm in the middle of that debate.
He was thinking it.
I know he was thinking it. He had it in his face.
Why not both?
No,
why not both?
Why not both?
Versus Captain Marvel movie.
No, they're very very great actresses, and I'm gonna go off the beaten path a little bit, but I know a lot of y'all saw the dude who was hating on her YouTube videos that she got.
I commented on that. That's weird.
Come on, bro. Just get over it.
JT, you want to go meet up at his house?
Those guys that do that are weirdos, man. The guys are
they're using her name. They're using her name for clicks. That's basically what
angry guys.
He's basically obsessed with her at this point. Right?
I unfortunately do have to say that for my birthday, she did not tweet me. I'm very sad. I tried. Everyone tried.
Next year.
Hey, next year we got it.
What did you expect?
All right. Anyways, on to some other news. We're just gonna skim through these next two real fast. It's nothing big, but speaking of Black Adam, it is reported that the movie will start shooting in Georgia during the early part of 2021, and it will have a release date of December 2021.
Where they're gonna film this? I'm just curious. I never seen do this, but I wonder if they're going to film in Atlanta, because they're filming Doom Patrol Season 2 in Atlanta. I don't know if that actually came out. I forgot about it. I don't keep up with Doom Patrol, but they're filming that and Stranger Things in ATL.
Okay. Well, I mean, it would be
the,
whatever The Rock.
It's going to be 3 pretty
much. Yeah. I'm really surprised that movie's still coming out. It must be solely because The Rock wanted to.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely because of The Rock.
That's the only reason.
He's going to bring in a lot of money to DC.
Yeah. And that's all
he brings in a lot of money. Every sequel he's in makes more than the original. I mean, he does it.
Scorpion man.
It's like a money talks. Our next bit of news that we have is the Harley Quinn season.
Okay, what do we have next?
1 and 2. I was just saying that. Harley Quinn seasons 1 and 2 are set to release on HBO Max on August 1st. I don't really have much to say about that. I don't have HBO Max.
This news will tie into, I think, the next discussion about the DC Universe app, because I think it ties in. And Simon and I both have opinions on it.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any input on Harley Quinn,
let's just jump into it. So what about the future of the DC Universe app?
That John is finished shut down.
Yeah. We've been talking about it for months now. We don't understand. Now, I get it. HBO Max needed some fluff. It needed some reason for people to buy it or whatever. But I don't think they should have done it at the expense of the DC Universe app, because before HBO Max came out, I would say it was very worthwhile.
Yeah.
I mean, it had original shows. It had the comics section alone. It has over 50,000 comics on there. It's worth it. But ever since HBO Max was released, slowly they've been putting like Doom Patrol Season 2, which was one of their biggest shows, if not their biggest show, was going to debut on HBO Max. Terrible decision.
Yeah.
And Harley Quinn, I don't know. They've released it on Sci-Fi. They released it on TNT. They released it on all these other channels for some reason. And it's good. I like Harley Quinn. I'm not saying that. It's funny and it's a good show. But I don't think they should kick the DC Universe app to the curb as fast as they are. But with that, I mean, it's definitely happening.
Right. Yeah. I was going to say too. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, son.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, the only value it really has at this point are the comic books. I mean, everything that's on there is on something else, or it's been canceled. I mean, Swamp Thing was legit, and they canceled it before it was even aired all the way.
So
I think,
good,
or like,
it was before. It was before it aired all the way. Yep.
Doom Patrol is pretty sick, but
Stargirl right now is the best CW show, and that may be a hot take, but it's the best CW show. It was supposed to debut on the DC Universe app, but before it even aired, they kicked it off and put it on the CW.
Well, give it time.
It's probably going to do better. Yeah, it's probably going to do better on the CW, but
yeah, maybe they just weren't selling enough subscriptions. Who knows? And that's why they started.
Yeah, and going back to the subscriptions part, I saw now they're not even offering a year subscription.
Yeah.
They're just going to do monthly subscriptions for now.
They took that off today, which is a bad sign. Yeah, which is a sign.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna give y'all like 2-3 more months maybe. But and then like you said with Stargirl, it was supposed to be on DC Universe, but then they took it off, and now it's on the CW platform, and then they might as well just turn it, if they don't want to shut down, they might as well just turn it into a comics only app, just like how they have with Marvel Unlimited. Just make it comics only, because it seems like all the stuff from DC Universe is either probably going to go to HBO Max at some point, because we're going to get more and more DC content on there as well. And I know they have to work out contracts and everything, because I know that plays a big part on who's going to get what. So I think it's on its last leg at this point. If they truly don't want to shut down, then my suggestion would just turn it to a comics only app.
So
do you think it would be worth lowering the price?
They would have to
for that.
So they would have to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they have to. Because I think the monthly subscription now is $7.99. I want to say right now.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm using my friend's subscription on DC Universe, so I ain't got to pay it. But
Same.
What?
So when HBO Max came out, I canceled my DC subscription. I got HBO Max.
Boom.
Simon has DC Universe, and then we kind of just swapped because why not? So I read a lot of comic books. Like I probably use the DC Universe app more than Simon does now.
Yeah.
Because I'm on there a lot, and I know that I have a feeling that it's going to get canceled. So I'm going back and reading all the big story arcs that I mean, why not? While I can, while I have them all on here, while Simon's paying for it. And so I can get all those out of the way and just, get all that out of the way. But what I would like to see I want to say best case scenario, I would like to see maybe if they don't do a comic only app, maybe HBO Max puts in some sort of version of that. Like you have some sort of access to it if you have HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
Because HBO Max is also doing Strange Adventures. They're coming out with a Green Lantern core show. And then I think they have multiple other projects that they haven't even announced yet. So they're putting in a lot. They just announced the Batman,
show.
Yeah, the Gotham show, which is going to be amazing because they have the guy from The Sopranos and the guy from The Wire doing it. So it's going to be like a hit show. So I would like to see them have some sort of extension or some sort of deal like, hey, DC Universe, we're shutting it down. But if you have if you sign up for HBO Max, you also get access to this catalog of 50,000 comic books, because then the price point would be more than worth it for me.
Right. And I was going to say,
it doesn't matter.
And I was going to say too, like with some of the shows that have ended their season, like Titans, we just had their second season. Young Justice, we got done with their season 3. We still don't. I think we know about Young Justice. I think they're going to get a season 4, but we don't know about Harley Quinn or Titans if they're going to get a season 3 in their shows.
Yeah, none of them have been confirmed. Yeah, nothing's been confirmed yet.
So I don't know if they're like trying to wait, try to like transfer everything over to HBO Max and say like, hey, everything's going to be on HBO Max now. Or are they still going to try to do it on DC Universe at this point?
Which Titans might be good with an HBO budget. It's hard to watch with where it is now. But
yeah, they had HBO's budget.
They had HBO budget. It might be good to watch. I watched it all and I enjoyed it, but
yeah,
they just need a bigger budget.
Doom Patrol is where it's at. If you guys aren't watching Doom Patrol, I at least should check it out. It's good.
It's a crazy ass show, and it's weird as hell, but it's good.
That's what makes it, though. If it weren't weird, it would not be good. Like I feel like it would be like Titans. It would just be whatever.
Well, that about wraps it up for our DC news. Now on to some Star Wars. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Lex, you're not a very big Star Wars fan. Is that correct?
I am. I'm a weird Star Wars fan. I'm a very big Star Wars fan, but I'm a weird Star Wars fan. Okay. I'm very particular with my Star Wars content, and if anybody's listening, our last 2 episodes have been about the 10 worst characters in Star Wars, which we talk about, popular characters, and then we talk about kind of more obscene characters. And I'm also a guy that
obscure characters, not obscene characters.
Obscene characters. There's just the absolute worst. Well, I read a lot of comic books, a lot of the actual books. I played a lot of the old games, and so I have a love for some of the deep lore. And Simon and I talk a lot about and you'll hear in some of our episodes, we talk about the characters are cooler in the side stories than they are in the actual movies. Like Darth Vader, even in the movies, kind of lame all around. It's kind of lame. But if you read any of the books or any of the comic books, he's so much cooler. Boba Fett, the same way. Kind of lame. But in the books, they really flesh out those characters. And so I hate to like be like a Star Wars snob, but I don't know. I'm a big Star Wars fan.
He's in for the Star Wars deep cuts.
Deep cuts
the
only.
side Bs.
I'm a gatekeeper for Star Wars. So if you don't read the books, then you are not a real Star Wars. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, we got some news. We got some rumors / news. I know you've all seen this, but Donald Glover, or as anyone else knows him, Childish Gambino, is reported to be returning to play Lando Calrissian in the upcoming Disney Plus show.
Big fan.
This deal is getting better all the time.
I love him as Lando. My only issue is, where is the time for him to do this? Like, to film and
never getting season 3 of Atlanta. We have been waiting 2 years.
Atlanta's so good.
3.
Oh
my God.
So good.
And everybody on that cast is so busy because we have Brian Tyree Henry, who's going to be in Eternals, and I know he has to do marketing for that soon. Lakeith Stanfield and Zazie Beetz, they're all doing plenty of movies that's on their schedule right now. So every time I hear like either one of those cast members say, like, "Hey, they're going to be casting blah blah blah," I'm just like, "Where is season 3 of Atlanta?"
Yeah,
it's not happening. Give it up. It's not happening. Yet. I love that show, but I agree with you. I'm excited because in Solo, I didn't hate Solo as a movie. I didn't necessarily like it, but I didn't hate it. But the best part of it to me was Donald Glover's Lando. And so I would be interested in to see, okay, so anything that gets announced for Disney Plus automatically gets an okay by me because I enjoyed The Mandalorian so much. So I kind of have a trust in that already. So a Donald Glover in returning to Lando, I would be interested to see where they go because they couldn't do too soon or too connected to Solo because then those characters would have to be in it. But then they also couldn't do too close to the Obi-Wan show because he's supposed to be older in that. So yeah, I don't know. I agree. I don't know when they would do it or what it would be about. But there are a few books again that talk about some of his adventures by himself. I could do that.
Well, speaking of more Disney Plus shows, the Cassian Andor Disney Plus series is reportedly tentatively scheduled to begin production. Thank you. In the fall. In the fall, meaning it's going to at some point film simultaneously with the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. I saw someone report this that there's going to be some kind of connection.
That's weird to me.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how or what that would be about, but that may have been because they'll be filming at the same time.
Yeah.
Again, if you go back to kind of like what Marvel has done, Brie Larson, we're gonna go back to Brie. She filmed in-game scenes before she even did, Captain Marvel. So like the fact that these two Disney Plus shows are going to be, filming at the same time, it doesn't mean that they have to be connected. Technically, I don't know if the storyline makes sense because I'm not, big into that kind of, lore of Star Wars. But, I mean, does that make sense? Would they be any kind of, is there correlation between
Cassian
them two?
Ando is going to be a Force Ghost guiding Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's where they connect.
That's gonna be a show about that.
That would be so not.
I would hate that.
Normal.
That would be something else. I swear.
I don't know. But, I don't think. I don't know.
I don't
the
know.
Obi-Wan show. The Obi-Wan show on its own is something that's a mystery because it's to me at this point it's getting real close to New Mutants territory.
Ooh.
Like they're pushing it back. We don't know when it's coming out. It is coming out for sure. Ewan McGregor has known about it for the past 5 years, but he's never talked about it. But it is coming out. We're working on it. And it's just one of those things like I want it to come out.
Yeah.
But when is it? When is it coming out? Yeah.
Losing the patience to wait on the thing.
Give us something. Some sort of storyline or anything. Or
Yeah.
I don't need much.
Show us some ankle. Come on.
In the last episode, you guys talked about Hayden Christensen being in the Obi-Wan show, and I started thinking about it. I was like, the only way that I would be okay with Hayden Christensen being in that show is if it was like Obi-Wan Kenobi is going crazy. They call him Crazy Old Ben in the old movies. And so if he was going crazy and he was tormented by the death of Anakin, and it was like hallucinating the entire time, and so so Hayden Christensen's character was a hallucination, just tormenting Obi-Wan the entire show, then I'm in on that. I want to see that.
Not to mention all the stuff that he went through in Rebels as well. You know, facing Darth Maul again, and you know that fight was so. It wasn't as erratic as like it was in the first Star Wars, where they were all jumping around. This one was very powerful, and if you didn't watch it, I'm not
so much better.
It. But the way that it ends, maybe it doesn't torment, but it's it was almost like he lost a brother. He wasn't.
It was emotional,
emotional, because even though he was his enemy for that long, he kind of lost like a friend, which is kind of weird to say, but lost something that was, you know, always there, and they had a very special moment right before, you know, Maul passed away. So that could have added to the effect of him, you know, just constantly hitting with these really sad emotions prior to episode 4. So I think a bunch of factors are going to go into that, which I think leads us to the next topic about Vader being in the show.
Yes. Basically, what they said was now that you know, Christensen has been, you know, rumored or he signed on to be in the Obi-Wan show, it is now being said that Darth Vader will be featured in it as well. So that almost kind of tells you that Christensen is going to be playing more of like his kind of story leading it up into how he became, you know, Vader. Obviously, we saw that in Revenge of the Sith, but more of like a backstory or more of like what happened, you know, inside stories or something like that. So, I mean, is that something y'all would want to see?
I would imagine Darth Vader had to be in it. It would be weird to have a story set in that timeline with Obi-Wan going into hiding and Anakin just becoming Darth Vader and him not being mentioned or shown at all. It would be I would be let down if he wasn't in it at all. And go ahead.
No. I want you to finish your point.
As far as the Anakin, seeing the Anakin, I don't want to see any more of the Anakin becoming Darth Vader, though. I got enough of that in the prequels.
Complaining about sand gets everywhere.
Yeah. He does hate sand people. He hates them.
You know, for me, I gotta say, I don't think you need Hayden Christensen if you're gonna have only Darth Vader. So for me, for them to say that we're gonna have Hayden Christensen means we're gonna have Anakin, because you don't need him for Darth Vader. You can have someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
For Darth Vader, they could just get some dude in the suit and get James Earl Jones to voice him.
Yeah,
they really don't need, they don't really need Annie to come back if he's going to be in the suit the whole time or most of the time.
Who are you, Padme?
Exactly.
Little orphan Annie.
And that's kind of where I think about like the tormenting hallucination thing would be kind of a cooler aspect to me, because like I don't really want to see him as a Force ghost, because I feel like the Force ghost wasn't until it went full circle and he saved Luke. I feel like he didn't get that and deserve that until the end, and he was at peace. So like for him to be a Force ghost would mean like they're completely which I get, like maybe Anakin died and then he became Darth Vader, which could be something, but
Anakin comes back at episode 6. So, and here's the thing. I've read some reports that what they're going to do is he's going to have flashbacks. He's going to be tormented because of memories. But I think what they're probably going to do, I don't know. I read some reports that they're going to do flashbacks to the Clone Wars, and where Anakin and Obi-Wan in the real life form in live action, they're going to put on the same stuff they had in the Clone Wars show, and go through like that bond, because that show really capitalized on that bond, whereas the prequels didn't. That's kind of the bad part about the prequels, although I love the prequels, is that there wasn't that connection like there was in the show, because we had time to grow with it. So that's what I think
I'd like to see that.
But another thing is, I think the show, what I would love to see from it, if it has Anakin, is having Darth Vader and having Anakin. I want to see Darth Vader fully succumb, because by the time we hit A New Hope, Darth Vader's already like given into the dark side fully. He's already 20 years passed since the fight in I can't remember the name.
Mustafar,
yeah. The fight in Mustafar. It's already been 20-something years. So Darth Vader's already fully succumbed to the dark side. He's already fully Darth Vader. So what happened in those 20 years? what happened in those 20 years where he fully succumbed. So I'd love to see that battle of maybe not Anakin trying to come back to the light side, but that battle of, because if you read the comics, if you read the books, it's so sad what goes on in Darth Vader in the suit. The pain,
like him coming to terms with having the robot body, losing his kids, losing Padme.
I would love
being forced.
I would love to see just how much pain he's in and how that transforms him into a broken person, into a very dark person. So
yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Yeah, and they really, I mean, they sell it like A New Hope. He's like, okay, he's an angry guy, but like in Rogue One, he kills it with being just evil. So, I would also like to see it.
And that was only a couple minutes before Rogue One. What about when he just turned into Darth Vader? How angry was he then? Right then and there, you know?
Yeah, when he woke up with robot limbs and
I know
Frankenstein walked off the.
Yeah. I know it's a cheesy line, him yelling no, but like
it was very bad.
Different context, you know, it's more of an anger thing, you know.
Bad.
What made that worse is like he that was a cool scene when he smashed all the droids around him, force power. That was cool, but then he was like, no.
Yeah, it was so bad. So bad.
I think I would want to. Oh man, I had a great point. Right. Oh, in the comics, there are a bunch of comics that tell that story of immediately right after he became Darth Vader. He doesn't have a lightsaber, so he has to go get a lightsaber, and it just shows how he learns to maneuver with the suit. Because in episode 3 or 2, he was a full-fledged Jedi Knight, and he was on the verge of becoming the youngest master. He was definitely on the council. He's one of the youngest in the council ever, but he's on the verge of becoming master. Because you remember, he was denied, master. So he was right there. So his fighting style was immaculate. Not to mention how strong in the Force he was. And he had to basically relearn that because he lost his limbs, and now he has to be within this jail cell pretty much, which is Vader suit.
He learned like a whole new fight style.
He went from the old school like ninja flying in the air, crouching tiger, hidden dragon fighting style to not being able to do that and relying more on his force powers. And then I feel like in the older movies they fought more like knights. Like Obi-Wan was old and Darth Vader was limited obviously by his body. And so it was more of a fight between knights, and I feel like the representation of them being called Jedi Knights, and then the way they fought in that one was really good.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that difference in style. Even so, talking about expanded universe stuff. I mean, it's not really expanded universe anymore, but even in Shadows of the Empire, it gives a lot of inner monologue with Darth Vader, and it talks about how he kind of learns to force heal himself. If he focuses hard enough, things like that. So it is really interesting to see that that inner monologue with himself and how he feels, and it's not just this guy in a black suit that's scary,
He's just mad, He's actually tormented because he was supposed to be. He knew that he was supposed to be the chosen one, and he knew that he was breaking the rules. He knew all these things, and he has no other choices at this point. Which is it would be cool to see live action. I agree.
Yeah,
I think no matter what we get, I feel comfortable saying that I trust where the Obi-Wan show is going to go.
Yeah, 100%.
So we're just, again, like you mentioned earlier, we're just waiting for something to come out about it.
The director, Emma Chan, she's directed a couple episodes, I think, of The Mandalorian. So they have a really good branch coming out The Mandalorian because of Dave Filoni, because of Jon Favreau, and the direction that they lead The Mandalorian pretty much.
Yeah, they set the bar with that one for sure.
Exactly. So that's why I trust go. Because they come, one of the director for Obi-Wan comes from that branch. I trust it. I think it can be, because I don't think it's going to be her direction. I think she's definitely going to get a lot of feedback and stuff from these people.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
They obviously know how to treat Star Wars properties as television. They've been strong. So,
what about movies? You don't think they're movies?
I mean, you know how I feel about the movies, but the TV shows, they get an expanded form to actually like tell it out. It doesn't have to be like the Rise of Skywalker where they're trying to fit like where they're trying to.
Going back to this Red Skywalker, I don't know if you guys ever heard, but I think when we went to go see it, me, Darren, and Josh, we went to go see it in IMAX, and before the movie started, a 5-minute like prologue of Tenet played, and I think that was the most intrigued we were at that theater than the actual Rise of Skywalker movie. Don't get me wrong, we were hyped. We weren't like, it wasn't like, what's going on? I'm interested. I'm locked on this movie, you know. And it doesn't say anything. Well, I don't know, but I was like, well, I want to see Tenet, but that's kind of sad. A Star Wars movie can't be more intriguing than a 5-minute like prologue to some movie I've never even heard of, you know.
Yeah.
But,
when I was sitting in the movie theater, I was like, all right, let's get this over with. So I can't be spoiled by anybody. I watched it that weekend. I was like, let's get it so no one can spoil it, but I also don't really know why I'm here.
Same. I watched it to get the same reason, to get no spoilers. I went to see it because, and I was excited because I then am now still ready for that Skywalker saga to be just done. There's so many stories to be told with so many great characters.
Me and Josh, actually, a couple days ago, me and Josh were hanging out, and he was showing me Last Republic cutscenes.
No, the Old Republic.
Oh, man.
The Old Republic, my bad. The Old Republic cutscenes.
Don't get me started on the Old Republic. You can talk all day about the Old Republic.
Yeah,
that could be a franchise they could make movies about.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and Josh knows way about it more than me. I was like completely invested in these little short films. You know, I was like, and the animation was on point, dude. I know it must have cost a lot of money to make those, but there's so many stories of like Coruscant and just like before the prequels. You know, like what happened before all that, the Jedi and the Sith Wars. Like, you know, it's just there's so much untapped potential in there, man. It got me mad, and now I know what Josh felt like all these years. He's like, I'm always mad.
And you never went for it.
Yeah, I'm excited for the High Republic comics that are delayed, but I'm excited for those.
I was gonna say I was excited, but then we have to wait for it, so it's gonna curb.
You were excited.
Yeah, it's gonna curb. I don't know. I'm just ready. You know, they even talked about, and you guys talked about it before, about them scrapping the new trilogy for a new trilogy, which I really, really hope they don't do, because I am just
they need to move on.
Like, I'm just done. I don't care. I don't want to see a new version of it like that. If that's how it ends, that's how it ends, and it's just bad. Like, it's there. That's it.
Just leave
Let's
it
just
there.
start. Let's start fresh with a new story.
Exactly. Yeah. Christian, we're going to kind of roll off of what you just said about Tenet, because it is now reported in our other news that we have that Christopher Nolan's Tenet has been delayed indefinitely.
I was so excited for that movie too.
I was.
Yeah.
I remember I called Darren today, and I was like, hey, did you hear about Tenet? And he was like, no, what happened? And I told him, and he was like, what? Are you serious? And I was like, well, it's just another movie falling under the delayed category. So,
Simon, like you were telling me, and what was your reasoning? It's because.
Well, I called Christopher today, and he was like, he says to me, he's like, I can't put it in anything other than theaters. No, it's like, for Christopher Nolan as well as Quentin Tarantino's, theaters are really important. You know, I feel like, I don't know if Christopher Nolan does this, but I know Tarantino does this. He films in like real film. He doesn't do anything digitally. And I feel like Christopher Nolan does. But anyway,
Nolan has his own film style for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's very old school, and that's, I mean, it's going to be delayed until it can be showed in theaters. He may never show it. Like,
full theaters, not quarantine, like full theaters.
Packed theaters. Yeah, exactly.
I'm watching that.
Not only that, but the studio as well. So, I mean, I'm sure that they both have a say in that.
I was going to say about that too. While me and JT were discussing with OD Parlay Hour podcast last week, while we were discussing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I was saying that, you know, Christopher Nolan just need to go ahead and release on the streaming service and call it a day. But then Ken was telling me that, Warner Bros. Has a big say on that, and they put so much money into it for them, to not release it like on the streaming service or video on demand. So it's only right for them to have it in theaters, no matter how many delays it's going to take. So I feel like we're going to get this movie in like 2021, I think, because the way Rona is looking right now, I think we're going to be in our houses until the beginning of next year.
Yeah, I saw a thing that said he had to make $800 million to break even,
Right.
which would be it's maybe insane, but that's an insane amount of money. They have to do a big release.
Yeah.
Well,
and they can get there. But...
Yeah, I mean, as we're recording this, I know from what I heard, theaters are looking for more of a spring 2021 release, or a vaccine to come out, which I can get on into vaccines, but as a type 1 diabetic, I'm going to wait for quite a little bit to get the vaccine if they have one. Just wear your mask.
For sure.
Right?
They're going to put it in the popcorn butter.
Yeah, our hometown is notorious for not giving a shit about wearing masks, so we're very adamant about staying at home and wearing masks whenever you go out.
Yeah, Memphis isn't looking too hot right now either, but but we're here to talk about nerd stuff. So as we are recording this on Wednesday the 22nd, SDCC has officially started. I believe it was this afternoon.
Yeah, they had some weird panels start today at 3:00 my time.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we have the same time zone, so 3:00 our time.
Yeah, so this recording and this episode will be out on Thursday, so you'll be able to catch more stuff from 10 a.m. to I believe 6 p.m. Basically, you can just stream it and watch it. Again, it's Comic-Con at home, but without the cosplay and without the just the other things,
all the fun stuff. So it's all the panels and none of the fun stuff.
Exactly. I know us at ECA, we're going to be doing some, either YouTube live or some live tweeting of some panels that kind of catch our eye. I went through them and I maybe found from Wednesday to Sunday, I think I found like maybe 10 panels that are like, oh, that would be interesting. And then everything else is just like, scroll. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what we're going to do. Now, I know y'all are doing something Friday, correct?
Friday night, yeah, we're gonna do a live show on YouTube where we kind of talk about anything that was interesting so far, and SDCC. So, and anyone can join that. So if you guys want to hop on, we're gonna put out a link, and we're gonna talk about it. But
what time will you be doing that?
I think we're gonna do it at like 10 Central Time. So
we'll be late.
10-ish.
Bedtime.
10-ish.
Bedtime.
It's Friday.
Thank you. Bedtime. That's bedtime right there for me.
You already know it's bedtime for me, so
all right, Grandpa.
Okay. Anyways, on to our next set of news, and I apologize for all my Harry Potter fans out there, but all Harry Potter films will be removed. Listen. Anyways, all Harry Potter films will be removed from HBO Max at the end of July. So you got a couple of days. If you haven't seen them, Potter fans, or you want to be a Potter fan and you want to watch all of them but not buy them, you can go to HBO Max.
I will say this. I think they're coming off of HBO Max because Universal also has rights to the Harry Potter films. Universal, they have their own Harry Potter theme park down in Universal Studios. But if you guys didn't know, and I completely forgot about it, the new Peacock streaming service is out right now. And so that's owned by NBC Universal.
There's too many damn.
I know. Because I think it released like earlier this week or late last week. So I think when August rolls around, those Harry Potter movies might move on to the Peacock streaming service because Universal has film rights as well to that franchise. So that's just my theory on it. So we'll just have to wait and see. But Harry Potter fans out there, you have until July 30th.
This is like a custody battle.
Harry Potter fan in 20 and you don't own the movies. What are you doing? Sorry, Dom. You're new. It's fine. I mean, if you like Harry Potter, you don't.
Excuse me from this.
I've always been a big proponent of owning the discs because this wouldn't mean anything to you because you have the movie. Yeah. So I'm a huge supporter of physical copies.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say? You're saying it was silly. I
think it's silly that I get it's like a licensing thing, but I feel like HBO is juggling properties at this time. It's like Harry Potter was one of their big franchises. They're losing it, and I'm not going to sign up
because of contracts.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not going to sign up for Peacock until the end of the year, whenever The Office goes off of Netflix. And that's the only reason that I would ever sign up for the Peacock app. But they also have those on DVD, so I don't know.
Exactly. Now, Simon, Lex, are y'all big Harry Potter fans, or are y'all just like mediocre me?
I have the books. I have all the movies. Right. I've read the books and I've watched all the movies. I'm really excited for the game that's coming out. I'm a mediocre fan. I wouldn't say that I'm.
I'm excited. I don't care, actually.
I wouldn't say that. Like, I've never been to Universal. I've never been to Harry Potter World or whatever it's called.
You will love it. It is amazing.
My wife is a big fan.
If you do decide to go down there, get the butterbeer.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah. So my wife is a huge fan. My children are starting to get into it, so I like it enough. But I wasn't older when it came out, but like when the books came out, I was still reading comic books. So for me, like reading Superman, beat the shit out of guys, and then like reading a story about a magician in junior high was kind of like, man, I'm not reading that shit. Yeah. So I didn't read them until I was.
Lex, that's exactly me. I'm probably the least fan like here.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Well, you know more than me.
Count, so JT. You just shit on the franchise. That's all you do.
I've never.
You don't have legit input.
Look. I told Darren I would give it a try. Like last week, I watched. I watched an hour and a half of it, and I literally could not watch anymore. It was not eye-catching.
Try though. You got to finish it.
You have to finish it, JT. Just like how I had to watch Star Wars. What was it? The Last Jedi. I finished that whole movie. Okay.
I feel like Dom has to watch all the Star Wars movies, and then JT watched all of the Harry Potter movies, and then
we will force you to watch all the Harry Potter films.
And then you guys have an episode where you talk about what you like and dislike about the franchises.
I see a YouTube video coming out of that.
I think it's a good one.
Right.
You have to commit.
Right, because I never say anything about Star Wars because my opinions are not valid.
Yeah, I was trying not to laugh. I was trying not to laugh while we were talking about it. Don was just sitting back there like this.
I was like, I have no opinion on Star Wars. I'm not into the franchise at all, and I'm just in here like,
I was like, we need to wrap this up so Dom can say something.
You don't like space wizards? I mean, it's the same as regular wizards. Right?
Yeah, it's just like Harry Potter. Harry Potter in space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those are two completely different things.
When I tried watching it, there were multiple times where I was like nodding my head off and like dozing off.
Which movie did you watch first of all?
The first one.
He watched the first one. He only watched in 40 minutes of it. What did you say?
An hour and a half.
So for me,
we didn't even get into the meat and potatoes of that franchise yet. That's just the first.
For me, I make my wife watch so many comic book things, and she has to listen to me talk about comic books for so long, and she's really invested in that franchise. So I obviously had to, get into it, and so that was kind of my. But
you got lucky.
It's
lucky. My wife only cares about Britney Spears. I have to hear about that.
Well, my wife likes the Kardashians too, so I have that. It's a double-edged sword.
Tell your wife to.
Double-edged sword.
Single gang, free that. Single gang.
I like Britney Spears though. Britney Spears is nice.
She's there. Yeah.
So she's got some problems. My wife is really invested in this conservatorship thing. You've got to invest. You've got to pay attention to this. So apparently she has a legal guardian. She can't drive. She can't use the internet on her own without anyone advising her.
I heard about that.
So it's that's why everybody's like #free Britney, because she honestly has it really bad right now. I mean, I've just been educated. There are conservatorship abuse all over the place. She just happens to be really rich and in the public eye.
And famous,
But it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. So educate yourself. Everybody out there listening.
Your shirt says Free Britney on it.
Yeah, everybody.
ECA says free Britney.
I don't know. But on to our next news. We have that NBC Universal is launching a comic company, Grant Morrison and Boom Studios, to play key roles. Now, to our comic guys, basically Dom, Lex, what are y'all's thoughts on this?
So I have,
go ahead, Dom.
Yes, I was going to actually pull up their article just to give like a little bit more detail. So everybody knows who Grant Morrison is, and then his role will be that their very first project from the comic line will be it says the first project under the deal is an ongoing series titled Proctor Valley Road that will be written by Grant Morrison and screenwriter Alex Child. The artist has not been named. And then UCP Graphic have lined up Boom Studios to publish the series. And Variety, which published the announcement, said UCP Graphic will be for up-and-coming talent, although we don't think Morrison would be considered up-and-coming. So that just, kind of explains, what their roles would be to starting up that comic book company. I think I have any expectations to it because they're such a new comic company. Now, I'm pretty sure they're going to have a lot of resources because it's NBC Universal. So, of course, they have, tons of money in their bank, and then they could basically, start this up at any time that they want. They're just trying to, get, talent coming into their franchise. And Grant Morrison is definitely the one, to try to get their name out there and try to, put some recognition in their name too. So could be a good thing coming out for NBC Universal.
Do you feel like those like Netflix did that too with Mark Millar, right? Do you feel like that makes it worthwhile for those writers and creators, these little offshoots?
See, with the Mark Millar thing's different because they're picking up Mark Millar's books to do the movies. NBC Universal is making a quote unquote comic company. Like they're going to create new comics out of this company. First, they're going to distribute through Boom, which Boom has a pretty solid track record of solid books. They're putting out all the Power Ranger books right now that even if you aren't a Power Ranger fan, they're all really solid books. And they also they have books called Irredeemable, Incorruptible. They do and they take up a lot of different properties, Adventure Time, all those other books. And they have a good track record. So, and Grant Morrison's weird. Most of the stuff he puts out is really fucking weird. So I don't know. I'm interested to see what comes out. I don't have any high hopes. I don't think it's going to be a big deal yet. Maybe one day. But
one thing you should know about Lex and I is that we are skeptics of everything. No matter how promising it looks, it's like this is probably not going to be good. If you lower your expectations, you cannot be disappointed.
And Grant Morrison is a legend. I want to say that.
That was Mark Millar.
I feel like coming out the gate, NBC Universal's priority and their idea is to create comics under their name so they can immediately get the rights to the movies and show. They don't have to up licensing or anything like that. So they're trying to cut out the middleman of getting the books. So
that makes a lot of sense.
If Grant Morrison is writing it, then I'm probably going to read it. But it's going to be weird. He writes weird books, so it's going to be aliens in it at some point.
Steven Spielberg will direct.
Oh,
yeah, for sure.
Well, on to our last news now. As of course, this recording, July 22nd, we are going to go through the list of movies that has kind of been announced so far. And of course, this is a very big if, or, if delays happen, if COVID is still ramping up by these times, then obviously they're going to change. But what we have now is New Mutants, of course, for August 2020. I think we can expect that to be moved back. Wonder Woman 1984 is out on October 2020. Black Widow is November 2020. The Eternals is February 2021. Morbius is March of 2021. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is May 2021. Venom, Let There Be Carnage, which, Lex, I know you don't like that name.
It's so on the nose.
What a waste.
June 2021. The Suicide Squad, I got to say that. The Suicide Squad, August 2021. The Batman, October 2021. Yes. Spider-Man 3, November 2021. Black Adam in December 2021. Now, these are the 2022 dates that haven't had a official date. They just are like kind of, they put the month of February there, and then they said maybe around these dates. But Thor, Love and Thunder, February of 2022. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, March of 2022. Shazam 2 in April. Black Panther 2 in May. The Flash in June. Captain Marvel in July. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2, October. An untitled Marvel film of October 2022. And then Aquaman in December of 2022. What, I know that was a long list, but any that kind of stick out to y'all that y'all are like, ooh, bring it now, I want it.
Now, for the films and that's coming out like this year, I just say just push them all back to 2021 at this point, because Rona looks like it's going to be here for a good little minute. So I would say just push those movies back. And then, of course, we're pushing Black Widow back again. That's going to push the entire Phase 4 slate down, because this year we were supposed to already have Black Widow back in, what was it, May? We're supposed to get Eternals November this year. So now we're pushing it back. We're probably going to get Black Widow probably in February, and then Eternals that comes out probably like, what was it, in May for that next movie, I think. I don't know. That's just
February.
Yeah. So it just appears that they might as well just push everything back. I think it's actually going to happen that they're going to push everything back till next year, especially with Phase 4 of Marvel. And it doesn't hurt them to like push it back again. I know, because we've all been waiting for some more content ever since Far From Home, but just pushing it back, it doesn't hurt them as much.
I kind of feel like. Go ahead. Who was talking?
I'll make it quick. I'm most excited for the Batman. I cannot wait to see what direction they go with that. I have a lot of high expectations for that movie. I know you said keep low expectations, but like based on what I see and whatever, like I don't know, just something about this one I'm really excited about.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm most intrigued by Venom, Let There Be Carnage, because I want to see how they're gonna tie Spider-Man to it. I want to see what the bridge is gonna be and how they're gonna incorporate that. And then lastly, very, very excited for Into the Spider-Verse 2, because the first one was just, I'm so curious to see if they can be able to top it.
It's gonna be hard.
It's gonna be a tough top, but I'm really curious to see like where we go from there, because this isn't like the MCU. It's gonna be a totally different story. They can go however they want to do it. They can throw in whatever kind of Spider-Man. They can play with Spider-Man 2099. They can play with all these different versions of Spidey. So those are the three that really, really stick out. But of course, I'm excited for all of these. Shang-Chi, I'm really excited for, and the rest, of course, are ones to look forward to.
I feel like Sony is going to destroy it. Going to destroy Into the Spider-Verse 2, because they're going to try to tie it into Morbius, Venom, whatever Spider-Man is supposed to be after Spider-Man 3. If they don't figure out some other thing.
I hope not.
I know. I love it. It is one of my favorite Spider-Man movies of all time. One of my favorite movies of all time.
Best,
yeah. It is the best Spider-Man movie for sure. But some of this stuff, I don't understand why they don't just release it on demand. I know that they're worried about the profits,
the money,
but at this point, like, at what point is it like we've got to move forward? We've got other movies. They're gonna all stack up on each other.
Yeah.
To where we're gonna get a new Marvel movie every month.
And my opinion is, realistically, you could knock back every single one of these movies a year. Just like add a year to everything on this list, and it would work. Like it doesn't. I want all these movies to come out now. Like even though I keep low expectations about pretty much everything, I see everything opening weekend. There's not a superhero related movie that I don't see opening weekend. There's not I pick up a lot of comic books every Wednesday. It's too much probably. And there's not a game that I don't buy as soon as it comes out, like superhero related or Star Wars related. Like I do keep low expectations, but it's mainly because the hope that I'm proven wrong.
Right.
And so I want all of these movies to come out because I want all of these movies to be good. I want the Suicide Squad to be good. I have extremely low expectations, and because I want it to be good, I want to be like. I went in for a prime example is I went in to see Birds of Prey. I had the lowest expectations for that movie, and it was probably one of my favorite DC films.
Right.
I enjoyed the entire thing, but because I had so low expectations, I was like, "Oh, okay, this is good." I didn't have,
Well, and it had Obi-Wan in it. I mean, you start crossing franchises like that.
It was really good. But I want all these movies to come out now. I feel like it would be hard to see them put an extra year on all of them, but I would totally understand. The Flash, that movie's weird. I don't think that should come out.
I was gonna say the same thing. I'm excited for.
Excuse me, sorry.
Yeah, I'm excited for Spider-Man Multiverse, Into the Multiverse, and the Batman, but the Flash should just cancel it. It should just not even make it.
The Flash shouldn't come out.
Yeah, it should not come out.
I think they had so many directors too come in and then just leave. So I don't even know who's directing the Flash now. I can't even remember.
Everything on that list is good except the Flash. The Flash process, and that Untitled Marvel film is probably scrapped right now.
Oh yeah, it's probably
for now.
I honestly can't even think of a title that it would be. Like,
no,
I have no idea. Darren, do you have any thoughts on the movies? What are you most looking forward to out of that list?
I would say Eternals, Shang-Chi, and Batman. For like the earlier movies, but the later on movies, I'm definitely looking forward to Doctor Strange. Shazam, I really don't care about. Flash, no. Black Panther 2, maybe, but I'd probably say another Spider-Verse would be great looking at the list. I'd probably say Spider-Verse and Eternals would be the ones I'm most looking
I think
forward to.
Eternals is going to surprise people. I think it's going to be surprisingly good.
I mean, they already have a top-tier cast coming in for that movie, too, and that's what... That's one of my.
That was a year ago today. Not today, but yes.
You got to think about it. If it has the same effect that Guardians of the Galaxy did, people that don't know anything about the characters, and then it's a good movie, then it's going to put Marvel's not off the map, but right now it's just kind of one of those things where the hype it's not dying down, but it's kind of stagnant right now. I feel like it's a good movie. Black Widow's going to be good.
Yeah.
I know it is. As long as it keeps track with everything that's been going on, Eternals is going to set the stage for the next phase, and I feel like it really is.
Right. Now, Disney, if you're listening to this, please give us a trailer, for God's sake.
If there's no trailer this week, then SDCC at home is a waste of time.
I doubt there's going to be a trailer.
We deserve a trailer for having this convention at home.
If the movie was going to come out in November, there's no way that
we're going to get a trailer like right now for sure. But
there's no way that they don't have a trailer. You know what I mean? Like they have a trailer cut.
I think now that we're getting it in February, I think a trailer is not going to come like anytime soon. We probably have to wait.
Maybe early
November months.
But a lot of times they release those trailers for sporting events. They tie those to sporting events, and so since sporting events are so up in the air, I know the NBA is coming back. I'm excited about that, but everything else is kind of up in the air. So I think SDCC, if they want to have any sort of impact, they should release a trailer to one of their Disney Plus shows that have gotten pushed back. I'm sure they have a Venom trailer that they could release. They need to release something that brings people back in.
Venom.
I don't care what it is. Something.
Yeah.
Not another Black Widow trailer.
Please no.
I think we're done with Black Widow trailers at this point.
They have two more coming out.
Just two more coming out. Movie.
They have two more coming out, and I don't know if I'm going to watch them because then what would be the point of watching the movie?
Yeah.
In the entire movie within trailers.
Yeah.
We're a family.
Exactly. Now, the last bit that I want to get out of the way before we end it. What is your hate on the X-Men, Lex?
Oh, man. I don't think we have enough time.
Let's get into that. I want to argue right quick about that.
I don't think we have enough time for that.
Let me grab my tea real quick.
Yeah, I don't. The X-Men. Okay, let's just clear the air real quick. Simon, you like X2.
Okay, so yeah, here was my thing. For a long time, I used to hold movies. Yeah, I used to hold movies to a rating system based on the X-Men. X-Men 1 through 3. So you'd have like a 1 out of 3. Like X2 is a great movie. I love Nightcrawler. He was in it. It's a good movie. It's got good writing. It's got good.
He was very good in that.
Pretty good direction. X1 is like, okay, this is the first one. It's first of its kind. Yeah, I mean, it's not great, but it's not X3, which is the worst, right? So
that's my favorite one.
X2, which is good. X1, which is okay, and X3, which is terrible.
That's my favorite one.
So,
Last Stand was my favorite one. All of X-Men.
That's a bit of a hot take right there.
The more I watch them, if I go back and watch them, they're not great. But I mean, that happens with almost every movie.
Movie, yeah.
Except for Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, which is still great.
Weirdly good.
Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna start by saying I am a big X-Men fan. If you follow us anywhere, I collect key X-Men books. I just got a really good one. But I own X-Men #1, first appearance of the original characters.
So cool.
Heavy book. Simon was with me when I got it. I got it for a steal of a deal. We were at a convention, and
he punched a guy and just took it.
We were at a comic book convention, and the guy that owned the comic book shop that had the booth left to go to the bathroom, and his brother was there helping him sell books. And we were just thumbing through books or whatever, and they had an X-Men #1 in a long box, which were with dollar books. And I showed Simon, I'm like, man, this is X-Men #1. Like, should I tell him, or should I just like try to get it? And obviously they're like, just put it in your stack and see what happens.
Buy that shit.
And so I put it in my stack. I get X-Men #1. This was maybe 10 years ago. I get it for $1. X-Men #1. It's a $60,000 book. Get it for $1, and I leave that convention. I haven't been back to the Dallas convention since then.
Man.
But I'm a fan of X-Men, so I want to say that, and maybe that is the problem. Like I do love it, because I even think the X-Men '90s cartoon is bad. I don't like that show.
Whoa!
And so people
you might have some people mentions like after that.
And so,
hold on, Bob.
No, wait a minute. Before you get into the X-Men film discussion, which X-Men cartoon do you think is the best? And please say the right cartoon.
Out of all of them, I would say, my favorite is X-Men Evolution is my favorite.
Thank you.
That's it.
I've been telling people that X-Men Evolution is the best X-Men cartoon that we got so far.
Yeah, Wolverine and the X-Men was good, but the 90s one.
We didn't get enough of it.
The 90s one is just bad.
It is so bad.
But so I go into these movies, and it's partially my fault. So whenever people say like, I love X-Men, I usually we have one friend that loves them. I mean, that like loves them.
We'll go ahead and mention. Can we mention him on this show? Yeah, his name's Garen. We're just gonna dog him constantly.
He loves this franchise so much, and I think the love that he had for the franchise and every movie that came out kind of fueled my hate. So I didn't like them, and then he loved them so much that I was just like, no, I didn't. And so I watched the first 3 movies, and they're okay. I don't really pay attention to them because it's the time that they came out. They're bad. Like the original Fantastic Four movie. Its fault is that it came out too soon, kind of. But then Simon and I went to theaters. We've obviously been friends for too long. We went to the theaters. We went to the theaters and we saw X-Men Origins Wolverine. And we were in there and we were watching it, and we were just like so excited for it because it was like a Wolverine focused movie. So this is going to bring me back into the franchise. And it was the absolute worst movie I've ever seen in my life. And Simon and I were just like,
we were pissed,
outraged, at like leaving that movie just like in an outrage. And I think then I swore that I would just damn that franchise and never, like it was so bad that it had no redeeming qualities to me. And
the only good part about that movie was Gambit, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
Nope.
Gambit was the saving grace for me.
The credits were the only good thing about that movie.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. When it ended, that was the best part of that movie.
I was angry about it. And then so I went in with low expectations, but it was like they were going to I knew that every movie was good. And I will say that because some people on Twitter were like, hey man, what about Logan? I loved Logan. That was a great movie. I enjoyed it a lot. I even liked The Wolverine, the sequel to Origins. I liked it. Even though it had like some things I didn't like, I liked it. Deadpool 1 and 2, I love those movies. X-Men First Class is watchable, but I hate it. It's just, there's a lot of things like with X-Men First Class, Emma Frost is just such a powerful character in the comic books. And
they downplayed her so much.
She doesn't even talk. I don't even think she talks at all in the movie. So it's just like,
January Jones. That was before she got her star power with Mad Men, I think, and she was just whatever.
Darwin was the character he's a character that is indestructible, and he dies.
I say I always skip over that part because they did him so wrong in that movie. Every time it comes on my TV, I just have to fast forward.
Wait, is that the X-Men you can adapt to anything?
Anything.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Except for that one thing.
Except for the bomb.
The one thing that he can't.
And it wasn't it with like a hand grenade, like a man?
It was a hand grenade.
It was. He used his powers to attack Shaw, and he absorbed it, and then Shaw got like the power out of his body and then put it in Darwin's mouth, and then boom, he exploded.
He died.
I remember that. And at the time, I wasn't like, I wasn't big on X-Men. I'm not like a huge fan, but I was like, I mean, he's like the ultimate survivor man, right?
That's his power. His one power is to survive anything.
Right. Why couldn't he handle a simple man-made explosive,
I watched that with my wife recently. We were watching all the X-Men movies because she hadn't seen them when we watched First Class.
I apologize to you. I will next time too.
I can't even remember her name. The Lenny Kravitz's daughter, Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz, Angel.
When she's flying after, that. Oh gosh, what's his name? I can't think. Banshee, and she's like, they have that poorly done computer animated. She just lost it. She was like, I can't take this seriously anymore. Like it was dumb from the beginning, but that particular part is really dumb.
Early on in the MCU movies, I was hypercritical on like, this isn't comic accurate. This isn't comic accurate. This isn't. But then I sort of laxed on that because with myself, I realized I wasn't going to enjoy any of these movies if I constantly compared them to comics. So I just enjoyed them for what they were, and then I started to love them. But with the X-Men, I feel like it's too far off for me. I feel like with the movies that came out after First Class, they would just use the titles of classic X-Men stories, and then the movies would not even really be what that movie would be about. Like, I know a fan favorite is Days of Future Past, but I hate that movie because it's like a lot of weird choices that they made. Like Kitty Pryde has a
that was one of my main problems with that, because I was just like, why couldn't they just add in it was Rachel Gray, right?
Yeah, why not add? They added like 20 different characters. They added 20 different characters.
Rachel Gray.
And not mention that they in that movie they took the time to fuse together. I'll say it's okay, an okay franchise with First Class and those movies, with a franchise that I hated. So they fused those two together. Not only did they didn't keep them standalone, but they intertwined these two franchises together.
Yeah, they could have just. Yeah.
Well, what about Apocalypse?
No.
Oh no.
Gross.
No.
Apocalypse is.
It was like after. I'm sorry, JT. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, in my opinion, Apocalypse didn't really make sense at the end because we didn't see Jean Grey's power. Like, she just kind of.
She became the Phoenix at the end of that movie.
Yeah, and then
Dark Phoenix.
In Phoenix, she became the Phoenix again, and I just feel like Apocalypse. They weren't ready for Apocalypse to come out yet. He's a bigger character, and it was just kind of lame.
Right.
And what's bad about that is Oscar Isaacs is a great actor.
So
They downplayed him so
good.
They killed his. I mean, it's terrible.
They can't get away. That original Fox franchise can't get away from Magneto. Magneto has to be a central focus of every single movie, no matter what. And so if they made 8 movies and Magneto is a main character in those movies, it just seems like a waste to me.
Yeah.
You remember when they were originally supposed to make a Magneto Origins movie?
Yep.
Like
I remember that.
I love Magneto. I'm not saying that. I loved Ian McKellen, even though I thought it was a weird choice. I loved his portrayal of him. I love Fassbender was perfect.
He makes that weird face when he's making Senator Kelly. He's like,
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Fassbender was the perfect Magneto. I just feel like the X-Men universe is too big for him to be in every movie.
Now, Simon, you said you and your wife just watched the entire thing. Did you watch it like chronologically, or did you just kind of watch it as they released?
Honestly, I can't remember. I think we watched it chronologically.
So me and my girlfriend did that recently because she wants to get into more stuff that I'm interested in, and she was very confused.
I'm sorry to her too.
Yeah, she was very confused at why the younger X-Men all of a sudden became old grandpas and grandmas. And it was like
we all were, man.
Very much of a it was like a 10-year gap or something, but in reality,
they're old as shit.
They're so old. I know. Look, I told her I was like, and then after we watched Days of Future Past, I had to pause the movie and I said, now the movies we're about to watch are technically erased because of this movie.
Yeah.
And she was like,
you shouldn't have to do that in movies.
Yeah, she was like, but we haven't gotten to those movies yet. I said, just keep watching. I was like, just
when people ask me what I think about X-Men 1, like the one that came out on my birthday, God, 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't necessarily hate that movie. I just feel like how do I say this? The love that Marvel has for Wolverine is kind of like the DC love for Batman. And if you know me, like I have a weird thing about Batman that he's like overhyped. The X-Men movie should have focused on Cyclops. Like they downplayed Cyclops through the entire
coolest
trilogy.
Character.
They downplayed.
X-Men.
He's the leader of the X-Men. But
I love Cyclops. I love Cyclops.
I love the actor that plays him too. Because we said last week, if we were to bring an actor back from the X-Men franchise to the MCU, James Marsden needs to come back as Cyclops because
Patrick Stewart.
He had the perfect
Patrick
look.
Stewart,
the way he acted as Cyclops, he was perfect. He was just downplayed a lot.
He was downplayed too much. As the leader of the X-Men, he was like
he was just the butt of a joke.
Yeah, they made him weak, and I didn't like that. Halle Berry as Storm. I like Halle Berry, but
who gives a shit?
They downplayed it too. Just say they downplay everybody except for.
Let's just say anything that Halle Berry does comic related, I'm not a fan of. So
So we're not going to talk about the
Catwoman. I don't know if you guys saw that movie.
You know what happens to a frog when it's struck by lightning?
Yeah.
Worst line of the movie. It doesn't make any damn sense.
I wasn't a fan of.
I will say though, for those if y'all collect, I know we asked earlier about the Funko Pops and stuff, but the Amazon Collector Corps are this month. It's actually coming out next week.
X-Men. Yeah.
It is the 20th anniversary of the X-Men line, and the 2 pops that you're getting. Spoilers for those who haven't seen the pictures. Are Logan with his claws that are like bones, and the other one is Mystique transforming into Wolverine. So very cool concept, very cool ideas. They look good.
I hate those movies so much.
So now let me before we end.
When you said when you said the pictures, I thought you were talking about the movies. I'm like, how old is this dude? Like, if you haven't seen the pictures, it's the one where the talkies where they have a Wolverine turning into. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No, Lex, you and I kind of talk about this all the time on Twitter. The superhero versus superhero debates, and
I love them.
Yes, but you're a big proponent of stop with the prep time situations. There was one that I sent you the other day.
Batman can't beat everybody, man.
You said the one that I sent you the other day, and I know you read the comments, was Wolverine versus Batman. Who would win? No prep time. If you really have to think about that,
come on, man.
Like you are a homer for Batman. Like that's like
Batman. I saw one that was like Batman versus Galactus with prep time, and I was like, who gives a shit about the prep time? It's not possible.
What is the prep time for Galactus? What would you have to have?
He's a billionaire, and I don't think that would be enough money
to
take. Let's just say this: Batman has superpowers at this point. Like he's no longer just a guy.
I wouldn't mind if he had minor superpowers. You know, like Captain America isn't the strongest Avenger or anything, but he has like the super soldier.
He does,
right?
There's no way a normal man could dodge Omega beams from Darkseid. There's no way. No, he's got to have some kind of minor power. Yeah, in Justice League, the show, the animated show, Justice League of America.
Okay. I was like,
you're talking about Final Crisis where he got zapped and died.
Yeah, he got zapped.
Yeah, but in that show, Darkseid was coming after him and Lex Luthor. Yeah. And first of all, Lex Luthor turned into Deadshot, which is I'm not even going to that. But Batman, he dodged an Omega beam, mind you, Omega beam.
I love Lex Luthor for obvious reasons.
Well, obviously, yeah. But like Flash can barely outrun those, and let alone a normal dude in a suit can dodge one. No, he's got to have some kind of powers. Like
at least once a week, I have a comment or something with someone online about the first one that really chapped my ass was Batman versus Black Panther.
Oh yeah.
And this was like a 2-day argument that I got into with someone. I was just like, get it, man. Like yes, Batman is smart and all these things, but you are discrediting like Black Panther also being a genius and also being rich. And on top of that, having superpowers.
Having an actual power. Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Batman, I get it. He's cool, man. We all like Batman. But he's not invincible. Or he has superpowers. Pick one.
The coolest thing about Batman is when he's against his own teammates. Like, the coolest thing is when he outsmarts Superman or outsmarts the Green Lantern or something like that.
But let's be honest. Superman beats Batman in like 3 seconds.
Just blows his head right off.
He either rips his head off or he heat visions his mouth hole.
Yeah,
there's no.
I don't like that combination of words.
I know you don't. I know you don't. And I say it all the time, but that's it. Batman. I love Batman, but I'm just tired
he's super cool for just fighting like clowns that don't have superpowers or
like weirdos that like to tell riddles. Yeah.
But other than that,
like I love the read the comments when it's like Batman versus Iron Man. That on its own, that is very. But when you put in a guy like an actual person who has a superpower, I love reading the comments and like saying like, oh, yep, you're a homer for him. You're a homer. For him.
See, I like, and I don't know if you guys ever saw the animated movie DC New Frontier. I like the way that Batman beats Martian Manhunter. He basically tells him he beats him before even having to fight him. He tells him like, hey man, I spent billions of dollars getting this small piece of kryptonite to beat this super powerful alien, but I could beat you with, a match. That's it. That's all I have to do. Right. So think about that.
And then Batman has like contingency plans for all Justice League members, just in case if they were to go bad or anything like that.
I like the psychological part of it. Like when he does that, when he psychs people out, that's cool. But like to say that Batman versus – I saw one week that was Batman versus Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. I was like, why are we even talking about this, man?
People can't be serious, right?
Everybody in the MCU couldn't beat him with the Infinity Gauntlet. Why would this regular guy in tights?
He's basically like Black Widow at that point when she tried to throw that little spear, but then Thanos stopped it with his gauntlet.
Why?
Or no, when in Infinity War, when he first arrives in Wakanda and they're all attacking him, it's like, you just saw him put Hulkbuster in a mountain. Like he literally
he punches Captain America in the head.
Yeah,
like if it was Batman, he would be.
That's basically going to be him. That's him right there in that moment.
That movie's weird with power scaling. How like Captain America was kind of holding him at bay, but I don't know if Thanos was just kind of taking pity on him. But like he holds him at bay, but everybody else on Titan were just getting their asses whooped who are more powerful than Captain America.
Yeah.
And that kind of reminds me of the whole Thanos thing was like in that Justice League War animated movie, when they're pushing Darkseid into the boom tube and they're all Flash is like doing tornado hands, Superman's using his heat vision, Green Lantern is like using his ring, Shazam is summoning lightning, and then you
Wonder Woman stabs him in the eye.
Wonder Woman stabs him in the eye, and then you can see a little battering going in there, like it's gonna do anything.
Just like a little participation.
Like we get it, Batman. Like this isn't for you. You know what would be Batman's best contribution in the situation is like paying to rebuild the city after they destroy it. That's what Batman should do.
Yeah.
Use your wealth for good.
Pretty much.
I do appreciate All-Star Batman when they like paint themselves all yellow and the Green Lantern. Like I love, like you were saying, like the mind games. I love stuff like that. But
psychological Batman's great, but like to say that he could beat Galactus or to say he could beat Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet is just ludicrous, man.
Superman is the height of what he can beat, and that's only because Superman's kind of dumb sometimes.
Well, and like it's only because Superman is his friend, and Superman's like, "Hey, man, I don't want to kill you." That's it.
Because he literally can kill you in like 3 seconds.
I mean, remember that All-Star Superman movie? That All-Star Superman anime? He kind of let loose a little bit. I mean, I've never been more scared of Superman than I did right when I was watching that. I was like,
Superman's like the most powerful character in DC, or one of them.
Yeah.
Batman can't beat him.
Yeah.
Well, it is that time to end our episode. Again, we want to thank Lex and Simon again for just joining us on this episode. We really appreciate it, guys.
Good to be here.
Yes. So, for those who have made it to this portion of the episode, again, just tell everybody where they can find you guys at, and yeah.
So we were at our Wednesday poll is pretty much our handle anywhere. Simon's working on his toy photography, which he's killing it. I mean, oh my gosh! So I imagine that in the coming months and years, his profile is going to be booming with that. But right now, anywhere with the Wednesday poll, we're pretty much on every social media and things like that.
Absolutely. Now, like I said, guys, before at the beginning, go do all the nice things to them. They deserve it. So
do those nice things.
Yes. Do those nice things. Now, with that, we will wrap it up. Again, thank you so much for coming and listening to us. And then if you're listening or watching this on YouTube, thanks for joining. And we will catch you guys later.
Bye, guys.